want to congratulate you on investing in your real estate career. Okay, I mean, this is a big deal. This is, you know, you've made the decision that you want to be successful in real estate, and then having me, you know, using a real estate coach is really about accountability, right? You
Yes.
set goals for 2019, and then my job is to keep you focused, lay out a plan for you, and moving forward. So that's kind of why you did that activity tracker,
Okay.
like your goals, what you actually did every day, and then your whole business plan, which we'll get into detail a little bit later. But I'm going to ask you a lot of questions because everyone is different as far as what their goals are and, you know, their capabilities and what they want to do, right? So I'll ask you a bunch of other questions a little bit later. But I will tell you that this whole thing, the process requires change, and change isn't always easy for everybody. So it's going to be challenging, and there are times it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable.
Okay.
Basically, to kind of get you out of your comfort zone.
Okay.
To get you moving forward. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep, sure, yep.
Okay. So, but you know, with our coaching calls, I'm not the magic genie. You know, I don't have an answer for everything. I'm really about accountability, like the accountability partner that helps you grow in whatever way possible. And for some people, that's a combination of real estate and personal or whatever, because there are always stumbling blocks. That's not always real estate related, but it is having an effect on you moving forward.
Okay.
Okay, and that's just true with everybody.
Right.
So those are the kind of things we're gonna figure out and kind of work around.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so you know a little bit about me, just a little bit. I mean, at one point, I was also in your shoes, right? I was at a point in my career where I wanted to grow my business. You know, I was struggling to get out of my own comfort zone, right, to make myself grow. So, but it's a mindset, and that's kind of, I'm always here via text, email, phone call, whatever. If you find yourself having one of those days where you're just in a rut and you need someone to kick your butt,
yeah,
you know, like Mary, I'm not having a good day, you know, I mean, I'm feeling stupid. But you know that you've got to do something, just reach out to me.
right.
I mean, I'll get you back on track. I'll get you refocused. And that's really what we're going to be doing.
Okay.
But I am in here because typically it's every 2 weeks is the coaching call.
Okay.
Okay. But there are those days in between this 2 weeks that we have scheduled or our next call that you just kind of need a little kick in the ass.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I would rather that you called me instead of letting your discouragements fester and slow you down. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, what are your expectations as far as being coached? What do you envision?
Well, I mean, in my mind, that's something that I really appreciate because I did a lot of athletics through my youth as well as in college.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I respond to a coach, and I also enjoy accountability. So sometimes, you know, let's just use working out for an example. You know, I will always meet someone to go work out, but will I do it on my own? Sometimes, right? So for me, it's kind of that same theory, kind of thinking along those same lines as what a coach would do for you in any field is that's the expectations that I have for a coach with real estate. So for me, you know, I think about what did my coaches do for me when I was in sports. So, you know, you've got to train, right? You've got to do your due diligence. You have to work out every day. Yeah. Well, how does that translate in real estate? So my thought is, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Do I go walking around and knocking on doors? How many phone calls do I need to make? So the coach would kind of help me dictate, okay, well, Lindsay, I need you to do, stairs today and you need to warm up and you need to, stretch and you need to go do, an 8-mile run. So, it's kind of, that kind of mentality to help you with that. And then of course, when you're down, like you just said, like that's what a coach did for me when I was in athletics, when you're not on your A game, he's there to help you get on your A game and figure out what is going on, maybe even inside your head, what's going on maybe physically, and kind of get those things running in the same direction, to make things happen for you. So it's always raising you to the next level, right? So if you're going to be coached and trained, then your expectation is to be raised to the next level.
Perfect. Now, how do you want to be coached?
Well, yeah. So if I'm trying to think about how does that translate into a profession, so I think, like a weekly or bi-weekly, at the very beginning, maybe, right? So to kind of keep you on track, and what's going on here, and what have we been doing and how does that look and what were your response rates, and kind of talking through some issues. And so for me, that would be definitely a conversation, touching base with that person, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly initially.
Right. Well, usually it's bi-weekly.
Mhm.
But, based on your answer about your expectations for, coaching, I think that you're not going to be someone that just kind of wants me to coddle you and get you
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, there are different kinds of coaches for sure.
a little
And
bit
there's,
assertive.
you've got like a Bobby Knight, or, or you've got totally different, realms of coaches. And also when you're dealing with different generations, that's going to be different too. The generation that I am versus a Gen Xer is going to be two totally different, maybe even ways that you approach them. But for me, yeah, it's not a coddling. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, when I have to, like Bobby Knight, pick up the chair and throw it across the room, that's
Yeah, I won't be offended.
and you get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, moving forward, in order to help you grow, we're going to take the business plan that you filled out, okay, for your goals, and we're going to lay out a plan. And I'm going to ask questions along the way. So that's kind of where we start with. This is we're starting the base at the ground level, the foundation of your business is to lay out that plan and how you're going to meet your goals for
Okay.
2000. Like your $75,000 in gross post commission, we're laying out the foundation.
Okay.
Along the way, I'll be giving you tips and suggestions and ideas to just take that a little bit further or rethink the way you're trying to, reaching out to prospects or so forth. Those are things that we'll tweak because everyone's going to be a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Now, on a personal level, is there anything that we need to take into account when putting your plan together? For example, um, do you have little ones at home that you need to be home certain times of the day, certain days of the week? Or are you involved in, are you working part-time? Are you involved in something else that you can't give? Like there's like maybe on Mondays and Wednesdays, you're doing this from 1 to 3 or whatever on a regular basis.
Right.
You have
Yeah. No, actually, that's one of the reasons why I chose now to enter into real estate, because all my children, I'm an empty nester, so all my children are out of the house. My last one is in college, and he's currently a freshman. So that allowed me to have the time that I felt like I needed to get this ball rolling. Other than that, I am doing this full time. I'm not choosing to do it part time. I feel like it's something that, if I'm gonna get ahead of it at my age, then I need to do this full time.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm pretty devoted to making this happen.
Good. Well, good. So let me ask you this. Why is it important to you to be successful in real estate?
That's kind of an interesting question for me, because coming from my previous job being a pharmacist, my most important part of this was to think about how I treated my patients as a pharmacist and what I did for them. And then seeing as that's what my nature is kind of caring, then I needed to make that translate for me in real estate.
Okay.
And so my number one goal is to decrease the stress involvement that happens when people are buying and selling homes. And I don't want it to seem like a stressful situation for them.
Okay.
So, and I want it to be an enjoyment. I want the whole situation to be an enjoyment. And that's my primary goal, first and foremost, before anything financial. I am not the breadwinner of my home. So what I want to bring to the table is really my client first.
Okay. But so initially, when we had talked about your goals for
Mhm.
goals post commission, we
Mhm.
were talking about 30,000. Your initial answer was 30,000,
Mhm.
which based on what you've got going on, we changed it to 75,
Yeah,
right?
that didn't make sense. So, um,
Yes. So
a
I
lot of
guess,
that is just not understanding how this all works
yeah.
because I never took a business class. All this language is new to me. Um, if you want to talk biology or pharmaceuticals, we can go there. But so I just didn't know the approach for it.
Okay. So, but what does it mean to you to be successful?
Doing your best, being your best self, living your true life. And if I'm successful, that means that anybody who's involved with me is going to be successful too. So if that means anybody who's underneath me, if it means anybody who's my managing brokers, my coach, any of my clients, I want that. If I'm winning, then I want everybody around me to be winning too.
Okay, so let me reword this in different ways. So basically, what I'm trying to understand is your motivation for success. For example, for me, I had that aha moment when I realized why it was I wanted to be successful in real estate. Okay, and like you, I'm not the breadwinner. Okay, but I decided that I wanted to be successful in real estate so I could grow a business that I could pass off to my daughter,
Okay.
give her something,
Yeah.
right? That was my aha moment. And so that's my ultimate, that's my long term plan.
Yeah, I mean, as far as a long-term plan, sure. Yeah, I mean, I have my both of my sons in mind. This is something that they have thought about wanting to do as well. My middle son is 23, and my youngest is 19. So the 23-year-old, it's something that he has been kind of leaning towards, and so for him, I think that he's looking at what mom's doing, and for me, I want to be able to grow something for him as well for long term. Yes.
Right, yeah, that's something you could pass on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, at the same time, my short term goal, right?
Yeah.
My daughter wants to go to a private high school, and those are not cheap, right? It's what 15, 20,000 a year
Yeah.
for high school. I
Yeah.
need to be able to pay for that.
Right.
And that's my short term goal. So that, in for me, that is kind of what is successful. Why I want to be successful. So I
Right.
just want to know basically what your short term success goals are in your long term. So your long term could be, your boys want to get into the business
Right.
down the road. You bring them in and then pass it on to them.
Right.
Right. So because what would happen? So your goal is 75,000. How would it feel if you only made 40?
How would I feel? What was it that you asked me? I'm sorry.
Well, if your goal goal for 2019 is $75,000 in gross closed commissions. How do
Okay.
you feel if you only end up doing 40,000?
Um, well, I mean, if I only, I'm not a person who looks likes to look back, but what I do like to do is learn from my mistakes. So, you know, for me, if I made 40, then let's see why I made 40.
Yeah, and you'll learn that along the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll know instantly when something falls apart or things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
But it's different. Everyone's going to be different in that sense. So that's kind of what, when you do have your coaching calls, right? I mean, it's going to be, we're gonna address, you know, what happened. You know, you had this great listing appointment with Sally Seller,
Yep.
and she listed with another agent, right? And we'll discuss what you think went wrong, and that way you know how to maybe change it up for the next, to make the next appointment a success. So you do win the listing, kind of stuff.
Right.
Um, do you see any primary stumbling blocks that would actually keep you from achieving your goal?
Stumbling blocks.
And that could be, do you tend to use an excuse, like to not pick up the phone and call somebody?
I think that could, I don't know that I would use an excuse as much as needing to get over the fact of, because for me, I'm used to people coming to me, right? I need this, I need that, you know, and I'm sort of the giver, right? So for me, it's to get over this connotation that you're bugging someone or you're being a taker, so to speak. But I think once my ball gets rolling with that and understanding that you are helping these individuals, that this is something that they need you as much as you need them, a very symbiotic relationship. Once you start understanding that, then I think that that's where I can maybe get over that. Yeah, but for this to be as new as it is, I think initially that could be a bit of a struggle, but it doesn't mean I won't do it.
Right. I mean, I think just your personality, you know, it's strong enough. It's just a matter of the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you are approaching someone asking for business, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think your mindset is, you know, you do want to serve people. You want to help people. That's who Lindsay is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not so much that there's you. It's not like you look around the room and you attach dollar signs to all these people.
Correct. Right.
You look around the room and you see what they need and how you, Lindsay, help them.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
That's the mindset you use when you actually do talk to people, when you walk up to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's, how can I help you? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because really, in real estate, that's all we do is we help people.
Right.
It's help them achieve their real estate goals, which is buying or selling.
Right.
Right? It's a service.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, just like I am the navigator of your success, so the coaching process, the journey, right? I navigate, but you're the captain. It kind of reverses when you become, as the realtor, you are the navigator.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, the mindset, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So we get to so you get used to daily activities, and your mindset will change over time.
Right.
I think your
And
stomach.
at that point, that's where I'll become dangerous.
You know, that's a good dangerous.
Yeah, I know. I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, I mean, and it's contagious.
Right.
You know, I think that just this call, I mean, just getting to know you, I think you bring a lot to the table, and I
Okay.
think you're not going to have any problems with people. You know, I mean, you're very approachable.
Okay.
You know, I think you're good there. So that's good. I think your stumbling blocks are something that we're going to work through pretty fast.
Okay, good. Okay.
Um, we've already talked about the sex life. Okay, so in between calls, based on the call, you'll have a little bit of homework.
Okay.
You know, just kind of, it's going to vary, depends on what we talked about that day, and then, what you kind of need to do in between over the next 2 weeks before our next call.
Okay.
So just remember, this is more of that journey of ups and downs. Some calls you're going to be so excited and you can't wait to talk to me and tell me what you did over the last 2 weeks and the closings, the people you met, and so forth. And then some calls you're just going to be sad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, this business is like a roller coaster. Right? You have good days, bad days, and then there are days you just want to be in a straitjacket.
Sure.
But that's just the expectations of real estate.
Okay.
But as long as you're committed to the success that you want, right? I am here to help you achieve that success.
Okay.
So like I said, like we talked earlier about, what you expect from coaching. When you get down, you're not bringing your A game. You reach out and you like Mary. I didn't get hired for that listing appointment, and I was prepared and I nailed it. And then you just feel down for the rest of the day. We're going to get you back up.
Okay.
If it's weighing you down too much, call me.
Okay.
Because I need you to get beyond that and move forward.
Okay.
Otherwise, you just get stuck there and you're not doing anything because everything is gloom and doom.
Okay.
We don't want that.
Okay.
Okay, so now on your computer, let's open up your business plan.
Okay.
So the digital plan.
Okay.
Okay. So, you're new. So we already discussed that based on what you have in the works,
Okay.
your goal from 30,000 this year is fine. Okay.
Okay.
But because you're also new, that's why, like for 2018, your average commission was 5,000. It was, that's what a new agent typically does.
Okay.
In our office, just 10,000 in gross closed commissions. So we're just kind of using that for this spreadsheet only.
Okay.
The first section for your listing appointments and so forth, we discussed that. But then we discussed that for 2019, you want to have 10 listings.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So based on your stats for last year, the 2, 2, and 1, right? This is telling us you need to go on 20 listing appointments.
Okay.
You're closing only 50% of them. Does that make sense?
Okay.
If you want to list 10, that means you got to go on 20. That gets you to 50%.
Okay.
Does that make sense, or is that okay? Same thing, kind of with your potential buyers, the 3, 3, and 1. Your closing percentage on that was 33%. So with wanting to work with 10 buyers, then you need to go on 30 buyers.
Okay.
Okay, that's for the year.
Okay.
But when you move over to columns D and E, right, and go back up to lines 3 and 4, when you break it down for the whole year, all you really need is one appointment a week.
Okay.
To meet your goal.
Okay.
Which is not hard to do. So that's 4 months.
Okay.
That makes sense, because this is tracking your numbers and where you need to do to meet your goal.
Okay.
So appointments for the week and appointments for the month. So 1 and 4, right?
Okay.
You think you can do that?
I'm gonna try.
Okay. After that, we'll get into the plan, okay? But that's what your goal is. Then on that line number 8, under
Mhm.
policy, so number of conversations needed. That's for the
Okay.
year. That's not for a month. That's 82 conversations that you.
Okay. So what is a conversation? Is that anybody I speak to about real estate or what?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Right. Because you're not a secret agent, right? No one's going to know that you are a realtor until you actually have that conversation with them.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
That includes. I mean, since you're new, right?
Mhm.
Your sphere of influence, your family, your friends.
Mhm.
Do they know you're in real estate? Have you
Mhm.
had a conversation with them?
Mhm.
All of them?
No, not all my past, probably, the people I worked with in the past I haven't, but I think with my family they know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then we'll discuss this a little bit later, but it's called basically it's core 100, where you have 100 contacts, and they're all of different professions. You've got a contact for uh, it could be like your doctor, right? And there's going to be an accountant. There's the guy who works on your car. Those are contacts that you make. Basically, they're part of your core 100, where you guys refer business back and forth to each other. Okay, that's a different call, but that's another thing that you can consider as part of your conversation.
Okay.
Okay. Now down on the next level, I don't think we discussed this, but since there are 52 weeks in the year,
Okay.
if we figured you're going to take a week off
Mhm.
at some point, I mean, you can change that accordingly. I just threw 51 in there, just saying you would take a week off vacation sometime. But if you are planning various vacations, you would just need to change that number. Are you planning to do, like, are you guys going on a big spring break or a big summer trip? Or
Yeah, we'll take a summer trip.
okay,
I've got to go visit family in England, so I will have 3 weeks there.
okay, so that takes us to 49. Okay. Uh, all right. So,
So that change, if I say I'm doing um 49 weeks, then
uh-huh.
that would be 2 conversations a week and then 7 a month.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, which is easy. I'm sure you have more than 2 conversations a week
Mhm.
about the business. I mean, about being real estate related,
Right.
right?
Right.
You think?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now let's open up your activity log. Now we didn't fill this out because it kind of went backwards, right? When you sent it to me, you did your actual instead of your goal. Remember?
Mhm.
So we really haven't filled this out yet. So looking forward to next week. Okay, under listing activity.
Yeah.
I mean, how many calls, text, emails? Yeah, it's not. I consider, like, if it's one seller, that's one call, email, and text.
Okay.
And not every back and the whole thread doesn't. If there are like 10 things in your thread, that's not 10. You know what I mean? It's per client, the whole conversation, regardless of how it was made.
Yeah. So let's see. So we know that I have to make 2 conversations a week, but is that going to be buyers and sellers? But
The 2 conversations a week are not with your current clients.
Right.
This is new potential client. That's your 2 conversations a week.
Uh-huh.
It's someone that you want, you don't already have their business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then, okay, so let's see, texts, emails. Well, I mean, I would think that I would want to be doing that every day, and then I need to figure out how do I go about making those texts and calls and so on happening to land that seller, right?
Well, okay, yeah. So number 7, okay, so line number 7, you have 2 listings right now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How often do you reach out to them as like an update or just?
Oh, I reach out to them all the time. So I would say weekly for sure. And then if anything is transpiring, like if I'm going to have an open house for them, or if I'm going to do a video for them, then I call and let them know about that. And then I also like to see where they're at as far as our list for getting the home ready.
Okay.
So I'll talk to them frequently about that. And then the phone calls will drop off a little bit as far as, you know, once the home's ready, you know, my phone calls will drop off a little bit, but when they're getting their home ready, like that's a daily, like that's almost a daily thing for me.
Okay, so your goal, so you pretty much have a conversation almost daily.
Yes, because I'm very, you know, if we're going to meet our goal to get it on the time the market that they want to, then I have to make sure that we've gotten our goals met that day for what we needed to get done in the house.
Then, so what are your goals?
So, I mean, it's for like when I have landed a listing, that's one thing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is when I land a listing, I kind of know what that looks like, but I don't quite know what that contains when I'm trying to find a new listing.
Okay, so let's take that to line number 8. Okay.
Okay.
When you're trying to find new listings.
Uh-huh.
So this is where we're going to make your goals.
Uh-huh.
Like how many sellers are you going to, potential sellers, I guess, are you going to speak with? Because if I
Yeah.
do 1 appointment, they look back. According to your digital plan, that was 1 appointment a week. But you would actually, okay, listing appointments needed was 20 for the year. Get your 10 listings for the year.
Let me see. Okay, so listing appointments per week. Okay, so basically this is saying every 2 weeks I need to have a listing appointment. Because sitting at, okay, so this says per month 1.67 listing appointments, per week 0.4.
Right.
So then I need to make sure that I land a listing appointment of some kind once every 2 weeks, that I go to a listing appointment, which I'm going on one on Saturday.
Okay. So then, oops, took the wrong one. Let's, that's the 17th. So you can go ahead and put that under your goal on line number 10.
Mm-hmm.
That appointment schedule for the seller. There's your 1.
Okay, so that's my goal.
And then if you actually attended.
Yeah, I want to attend that, so that's a 1.
Now, okay, so Going back to line number 8,
Mm-hmm.
number of sellers that you plan to speak with next week that are not your current sellers. It doesn't have to be one every day. You could pick a day of the week where that becomes like your focus, right? Maybe reaching out to expireds or FISBOs. You could pick, let's say, a Wednesday. Wednesday could be the day you work with expired. That you're focusing on expired.
Okay.
In our market, it's hard to actually get face to face with them unless you door knock.
Yes.
And most people these days both work.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it's a matter of, well, I mean, it's a matter of how do we get in front of these people that are expired. We obviously wanted to sell because they wanted to sell at one point.
Okay.
But now you got to figure out a way to get in front of them or speak to them.
Okay.
Sometimes, because you're on Facebook, correct?
Yep.
Sometimes it's a matter of maybe you could find them on Facebook, do a little research.
Okay.
And see if you have someone in common. It kind of becomes an icebreaker when you have a conversation with someone that you're trying to, get to know or whatever.
Right.
Usually it's really one of the Jared James has a lot of great letters for expireds and FISBOs that you can use.
Okay.
To actually write a letter. And it's something, their letters, they're just something out of the box. It's really to get their attention. It'll show you or show them that you kind of do things a little bit differently, that you're an out of the box thinker. The way you do your marketing is different. It's not just the basic postcard of, I'm sorry your house didn't sell the first time. That's a generic expired postcard or letter. He's got a letter, I think it's called a wedding invitation. And basically it states, so it looks like a wedding invitation, and it's all about saying I do to an appointment with you, what you will bring, so forth and so on, things like that. So I think if you could, back to that activity log, let's just pick a Wednesday. It's not really spoken with them. You can speak with them. Let's make that, I'm going to just put a 6. For prospecting. I'll type in prospecting on line number 8 there. But now the next, let's just kind of, do you have anything going on with new buyers?
Let's see. New buyers. I'm closing one this month. And I have another gal that I'll be working with next month. There's a couple people I want to follow up with that to see if they're ready to look.
So Wendy, okay, so there you go. So when are you going to follow up with them? You should do it this week. Do you talk to, do you call them, or you text them, or do you call them, or do you email them? Or text them?
I usually will call.
Okay.
And then I also then like to text right after if they don't pick up, so that they see my name and number, because sometimes I feel like that's hard to hear.
Yeah.
And then they can add it to their contact book right away that way.
Okay. So that's one of the things. So that's something you could probably put on line number 15.
Okay.
What you're actually going to do, your goal is to actually reach out.
To those 4 people.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
And then your goal is to actually get an appointment, or an appointment scheduled.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
make 4 calls, you want 4 appointments.
Okay. So am I putting that under sales appointments, and
Sales activity?
face to face is then 4 as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And my goal is 4. I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I got all 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So you kind of, now you get a little bit better idea,
I
understanding
do.
of what this sheet is all about.
Yeah. Okay.
Is setting goals for the week,
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
then, comparing what you actually did.
Mhm.
And at our next call, we'll discuss what made it a success or why wasn't it successful.
Okay. Okay.
So that's something that, um, you could do after we get done, but with this call. But now you have to kind of get a better understanding of what it's for. It's to track you and to kind of keep you on schedule. But now, speaking of schedule, do you actually use like a calendar? Like, are you a Gmail user?
I am, but I tend to put everything in my phone for my calendar.
Okay, which is fine,
Okay.
because that's one of those things where the things that are routine for you every day, like let's say you wake up, you have coffee, you take, if you had kids, I'm just using an example. It's it's not you, but just an example. You wake up at 6, you have your coffee, take the kids to school at 7, right? By the time you get home, it's 7:30. You work out for an hour. I mean, if those are things you do on a regular basis,
Yeah.
go ahead and set them in your schedule.
Okay. Good idea. Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
Let me just see.
Yeah.
To show up on camera so you can see it. Like today. Like, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's like my schedule.
Okay.
I have it blocked off, right?
Okay.
And there are things in there like taking my daughter to school. That's a 45-minute process from the time I leave and get back. So I know that's dedicated. Because the idea here is to fill in the gaps with the things that fit around your regularly scheduled, activities.
Okay.
Those are the times. So let's say you're going to notice that, oh my gosh, you're pretty much free from 10 to 11 tomorrow morning. You could use that as your hour of power.
Okay.
Have an hour of power built into your schedule every day. That's where there's no text, there's no emails, there's no phone calls, there's no TV, there's no distractions. You are sitting there for an hour and you are totally focused on the things that you need to get done, whether it be, completing contracts, working on marketing materials, making phone calls, making videos, editing videos, so things like that. Or you just sit down and you're totally focused on what you need to do for that day. Your hour of power of activity will probably change from day to day, depends on what you got going on in your business, like project here or there.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the easiest thing to do. I color code mine. So anything that's in green means it's real estate related, like the color of money. Okay. Anything that has to do with my daughters in purple. And anything that has to do with just me is in red. Right? And anything that I do volunteer-wise is in yellow. I mean, that's just how I have mine set up.
Right.
Then I realize that I've got time. What am I going to do between this and that? Between 2 and 3 today. I've got it open. What can I do? Because once you get into that mindset,
You're looking for it.
right?
Yeah.
Constantly, you know, running your business like a business. You've got a free hour here. You know, you were going to go look at the postcards on prospects.com and see what they got to offer, and do you like them? Things like that. So that's something you could do on your phone, and it's just a nice little push in case you forgot that you were going to, try and work on a project or try to work with first-time home buyers. You're going to research the programs that Indiana Housing has, right? That'd be an hour of power, right? Because you have to go to their website and learn about it. And then you're going to figure out, well, how am I going to market this? How am I going to reach first-time home buyers?
Yeah. Okay, I like that. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we're nearing the end here, but now that you tried, do you have any questions for me since this is the first call?
No, not currently, but I'm sure I will once I get rolling.
Right. I mean, now you kind of understand what to expect. Every call is going to be different. Okay. You're going to bring something completely different to the table that we may have to work on,
Okay.
and, something of importance, like you got something big going on, or you have this grand idea that you want to work on, and we could, work on that together.
Okay.
Things like that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But go ahead and fill out your daily activity tracker. And now that you have an idea of what that really is supposed to do for you. And then, look at your schedule and go ahead and fill in the spots that are routine to you. And then go back through looking after your activity schedule. Fill in the spots where you're going to work on your goals within your activity schedule. So use those together.
Okay.
Right? You get the 4 phone calls, things like that.
Okay.
And then that's pretty much it.
Okay.
So basically, we are going to eventually figure out a system for you, right? And whether it be that we're going to kind of work on, we're going to get your system, what your systems are, how we're going to do lead generation. We just talked about time blocking, and then we can talk about prospecting. So those are the kind of things that we'll be building upon over time.
Okay.
Now we're going to just build your foundation and get you ready in the mindset.
Yes. Yeah.
Building up once you get these things done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So no questions? You sure?
But I'm sure I will.
Well, you know how to find me. Right?
Yep.
Okay, girl.
Sounds good.
Go ahead and finish this out, and then just reach out to me if you need anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. See ya.
Okay. Bye.